Here we go again. Monkeypox is now an emergency according to the World Health Organization. Hi everyone, I'm Jeff and this is Plain English lesson number 495. Coming up today, respiratory droplets, virus, transmission rates, quarantine, self-isolate, spreading, case counts, death rates. The vocabulary is back, but not for COVID. This time, it's monkeypox. We'll tell you everything you need to know about the latest virus to spread around the world. In the second half of today's lesson, I'll show you what it means to clamor for something, and we have a song of the week. But first, preparations are well underway for our 500th lesson celebration, which will take place live on Facebook and Instagram on September 3rd. It's going to be the morning here, 8 a.m. in Chicago and Mexico City, 9 a.m. in New York, 10 a.m. in Brazil, 4 p.m. in most of Europe, and evening time in Asia. It will be on Instagram and Facebook, so pick the one you like the best and connect with us on there. I made it so easy. Just go to plainenglish.com/500. That will take you straight to our profiles. Follow us on Instagram and join the Facebook group. We will be promoting the live stream on there, but remember, the big day is September 3rd. Three diseases in English end with pox. Smallpox, a very deadly and very transmissible virus, killed millions of people over 3,000 years. It was finally eradicated in 1980 thanks to vaccines. Chickenpox is a much less serious viral disease that typically infects children. Once you get it, you're immune for life. About 95% of American adults have had it, for reference. A chickenpox vaccine has spared most of today's youngsters from the itchy outbreaks we all suffered decades ago. But now, another virus from the same family is spreading around the world. This one, in English, is called monkeypox. The outbreak is new, but the virus and the disease are not new. The virus was first discovered in a laboratory in Copenhagen, Denmark, in 1958. At the time, it was present in a colony of monkeys. That's why this pox family disease is called monkeypox today. But scientists believe it has been present in many types of animals for thousands of years. Monkeypox first emerged in humans in Africa in 1970. Since then, it has been somewhat common in Central and Western African nations such as the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Nigeria, Cameroon, and the Central African Republic. In all those countries, it is considered endemic. Scientists in Africa have been studying the disease for years. It has been recorded in Europe before, though outbreaks have been limited. Those cases were all linked to international travel or illegally imported animals. This outbreak is different. The first cases in the current outbreak were reported in Europe in May of this year. It has now spread around the globe. When I researched this lesson at the end of July, there had been 20,000 cases reported in 78 countries. Europe has been the epicenter of the outbreak so far, with the Americas second. The US, Brazil, and Canada reported the most cases in the Americas, while Spain, Germany, and the UK had the most in Europe. The World Health Organization declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. That declaration asked countries to coordinate a global response, including education, prevention, treatment, and vaccines. Monkeypox is typically not fatal, but it can lead to death in patients that have other health challenges, such as a compromised immune system. Symptoms of monkeypox include fever, headaches, muscle aches, and a lack of energy. But the worst is the blisters. It can develop on any part of the body, including your face, feet, hands, mouth, and intimate areas. The rash can last for 2 to 4 weeks and usually goes away on its own. But while it's present, a person can spread it through physical contact, whether from direct contact with the rash or from saliva. Not to give you déjà vu, but it can also be spread from respiratory droplets, though not as easily as COVID-19. Monkeypox isn't considered a sexually transmitted disease, but it can be transmitted through skin-to-skin contact, such as during sexual activity. About 95% of the cases reported outside of Africa are among gay and bisexual men, typically in their 20s to 40s. That population is at the highest risk right now. However, anyone can get it, regardless of gender or sexual orientation. It can spread among members of a household, and women and children have been infected. There are several vaccines, most of them based on the existing vaccines for smallpox. Some of the vaccines are estimated to be 85% effective against monkeypox, though none have been tested specifically during this outbreak. People in vulnerable populations are clamoring for the vaccine. Long lines outside vaccination clinics formed in New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and other cities with large gay populations. There is far more demand than supply right now. Aside from getting a vaccine, doctors are advising patients to avoid situations with a lot of skin-to-skin contact, such as dance clubs and concerts. I told you earlier we'll be doing a live celebration of our 500th lesson on Instagram and Facebook. I've never done a live stream of any kind before. I've ordered some new equipment. We'll have 2 microphones here, one for me, one for JR. I'm researching how to stream to 2 places at once. That's interesting. JR is in charge of the decorations. And yes, there will be decorations. This is going to be fun. If you want to see all the details, remember to go to plainenglish.com/500. You'll see the date, the time, the platforms, all that. You can enter the giveaway. That's exciting too. And you can be part of the 500th lesson video. That's all waiting for you at plainenglish.com/500. Today's English expression is clamor for. We use this expression when people, usually a group of people, are publicly asking for something. With clamor for, the asking is not necessarily angry, but it's also not a polite request either. It's more insistent. The current monkeypox outbreak is affecting primarily gay and bisexual men in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. People who are vulnerable to the disease are clamoring for a vaccine. They are firmly and very publicly requesting, almost demanding, more doses of the vaccine. So what does this look like? They are talking to the media. They are talking to their representatives in Congress. They are calling the public clinics that have the vaccine. They are making it very clear that they are interested in the vaccine. It's not exactly protests in the streets, but there's no mistake that people want this vaccine, at least in the affected populations. About a year ago, towns and cities in America were split on in-person learning. In most smaller towns, schools were open for a full day as normal. But in many large cities, schools remained closed and children continued to learn, if that's the word, remotely. Many working parents were clamoring for a return to in-person learning. The parents were insisting, demanding that schools reopen. They were writing letters, talking to the media, calling school officials, organizing meetings, making their voices and their demands heard. Not everyone agreed, but a lot of parents had to go back to work themselves, and they were clamoring for a return to school for their kids. Clamoring for change is a popular expression. The people are clamoring for change. That means people are requesting, insisting on change, usually in government. That has been true in Chile over the last several years. You learned about the protests in Chile in lesson 371. People were clamoring for change in the economic model that has resulted in deep inequality. The citizens of Chile made it clear they wanted some kind of change. They elected a group to draft a new constitution, and then they elected Gabriel Boric, the country's most left-wing president in decades. You can also say people are clamoring for attention if they're trying hard to get your attention. What happens if you're trying to watch a movie, you're really into it, you've got your popcorn, and then a wet nose pushes your leg? You try to ignore it, and then the nose pushes harder. Then maybe there's a squeal or a growl. Your dog is clamoring for your attention, and he's not going to stop until he gets it. Insistent is a great word to describe dogs. They clamor for your attention. They will try and try and try to get your attention, and they usually win, right? Your kids can clamor for attention too. Have you ever been to a press conference or at least watched one on television? Usually someone gives opening remarks and then opens the floor for questions. And reporters clamor for attention. They shout out their questions, hoping to be the first one selected. Have you ever been to a car show? All the car makers are clamoring for attention. They have lavish displays. They have models speaking into a microphone on rotating stages. Sometimes they have music and lights. The car makers are clamoring for the attention of the attendees at the car show. JR is reaching back in time for today's song. It's Harvest Moon by Neil Young. This one is from 1992, 30 years ago. It's a great song, one of my favorites from Neil Young. Not his most popular, for sure, but it's got a nice slow melody, and you guys will appreciate this. It's pretty easy to understand the lyrics. Harvest Moon by Neil Young is the song of the week. Thank you, JR, for that. So would it be accurate to say that I'm clamoring for attention? I think so. I don't want my first plain English live stream to be empty. I need you to be on there. And that's why you need to go to plainenglish.com/500. Connect with us on Instagram and Facebook right from there and mark your calendars for the live stream. September 3rd, 8 in the morning in Chicago, 9 in the morning New York time, decorations, champagne. We are going to have the best party in that time slot, I guarantee you. plainenglish.com/500 500 is also where you can enter our giveaway. And the top prize in the giveaway is the chance to be the guest editor of a future lesson. So if you're the winner, you and I pick the topic together, you help me research it, and you can even introduce the topic on that future lesson. So that is the top prize of the giveaway. and the only way to get it is to enter the giveaway. You cannot get that any other way, and we are doing it only once. So if you want your chance, go to plainenglish.com/500, enter the giveaway, and we will announce the winner on the live stream on September 3rd. There are other prizes too. So don't wait. Go today and enter the giveaway at plainenglish.com/500.